Today we're going to be looking at the top cut teams from the Pokemon VGC 2023 World Championships. Now, first things first, a massive shout out to Shohei Kimura here, obviously the winner for the Worlds at 2023. Unfortunately, Victory Road currently does not have any more real information, I guess, here on the spreads and whatnot, but I did want to just take a look at the teams here and just look at some trends. But yes, massive shout out to Shohei. He basically he finalized the sweep for Japan this year. They won the juniors, masters, and seniors, getting first place in all of them, which is pretty damn cool considering it was a home field event for them, you know. So it is cool to see that, you know. I do like seeing the Japanese players win. Obviously, you know, they are some of the best players in the world and definitely some of the most creative. But obviously, looking at this here, look, what can I say? Shohei's team was, look, it was relatively standard, at least compared to Michael's. You know, Michael had one of those Dragapult teams, which is really cool. I was kind of pulling for Michael to win because I would have loved to see Dragapult and Frigoraph both become world champions. Especially too because obviously he wasn't running the Fluttermane, which, you know, if Fluttermane didn't win the world championship this year, I think it would have been pretty damn crazy. For Shohei's team, I think, look, he performed absolutely phenomenally. If you guys want to, let me know. I probably will do probably just like a breakdown or like a review of the grand finals. I think it was an absolutely fantastic series, and it was kind of crazy to see how much work Amoonguss put in that series, because it really did just feel like Michael had no answer to it. So I don't know if it was specifically Shohei's team or the way Shohei played it, but I do want to like break it down and, you know, get a little bit more in depth on that. But yeah, Shohei's team pretty standard here. Actually, I shouldn't say standard. I do think it was actually Terra Grass Energy Ball Fluttermane, which I did think was a super interesting adaptation that we did see. I really do wish we had team sheets here, but unfortunately we do not. I'm not sure if they're going to be public anytime soon. But yeah, really cool team. You know, Fluttermane, obviously the best Pokemon in the format. He had the Urshi, he had the Iron Hands, which again were like, I think for day 2 they were both sitting on like 50% usage, which was kind of insane. But yeah, look, a super standard team by Shohei, but he piloted it absolutely phenomenally. And as I said, the grand finals were they were special to watch. The way he played that Amoonguss was unbelievably good. And yeah, I'll definitely do a breakdown of that probably in the future if you guys would like to see that. But next up, Michael. I kind of touched on it just before, but Michael's team was, look, as I said, I was pulling for it, right? I love Dragapult. I do think that was the only Dragapult in the top cut. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Yeah, to see one Dragapult in the top cut and it almost won, dude, I would have been so happy if Dragapult won Worlds, but it is what it is. It got second place, you know, I can't complain. A really, really cool team here by Michael. You know, he had the relatively standard, you know, Fire Water Grass Core here with the, you know, the Urshi Rilla and the Heatran. Obviously the Power Knight, the Power Pult, I should say in this case, and then Frigoraph. Pretty cool team, you know, like just a good offensive team with, you know, anti-Trick Room / a Trick Room mode if you think you need it. Obviously just a lot of really powerful physical attackers. So yeah, pretty cool team. Then we see here Mao Harada. I believe this was the exact same team as Shohei, sorry. I don't know, again, I want to say there was slight variances in the team. I think one of them, I think it might have been Mao was running Rocky Helmet on his Fluttermane. I could be wrong. I know there was one Fluttermane that was like pretty high up that was running Rocky Helmet. I'm not too sure if it was Mao's, but considering it is like the exact same team as Shohei's, clearly this was like a Japanese special, right? I think you see here, yeah, so like the top, where is it? Is it like the top 3? Yeah, the top 3 performing Japanese players all use the exact same team, which is kind of crazy. 3 in the top 10. But yeah, look, another really, you know, really standard team in the meta. Obviously, though, I think it was the call for the meta, right? If you look at it, really, really good. Then Fede, again, this is another guy I was pulling for, man. I really wanted him to win. He was the only Ursaluna in the top 4. Obviously, there are 2 there in the top 8. But I just love this core. It was kind of interesting to see the D-Knight, obviously, without the Chanpao in this team. I do believe he was, like, Terra Flying, though. I forget his item off the top of my head. I think he did put it on his Twitter. But off memory, it was like Life Orb or something like that. Really weird. Not weird, but interesting, right? Not something you used to that we're used to seeing right now. But look, really cool team here. Obviously, you know, rocking the Fluttermane. He's got the Ursaluna, the hands. You know, just some of the, you know, the best ones in the format. Coming in here though at 5th, though, Sempra, he did rock Rain. It was really, really cool to see Sempra just do so well. Getting, you know, the Pelipper in there into the top 8. Obviously Gholdengo as well. It was its highest placement, the only Gholdengo in the top 8, which I think a lot of us were like super shocked at. Like I think a lot of people like thought coming into this Gholdengo was like one of the calls for the meta. And as a matter of fact, we only see 3 in top cut, which is kind of crazy. My math's correct, yeah, unless, oh no, there's a 4th one there. Bloody Fluttermane putting it in a different spot. Yeah, so there was 4 Gholdengos in the top cut, which I think a lot of people are probably going to be surprised about that. I think Gholdengo was definitely one of the, you know, the best Pokemon coming into the format. I think it was just probably a lot of people didn't want to stack up on the ghost types, and it was pretty hard to not take Fluttermane. And clearly, you know, if you look at it, right, how many Fluttermanes don't we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, six of the top 26 didn't have Flutter Mane. So like 20 have it, 6 don't. Kind of crazy, obviously just showing how dominant that Pokemon is in the format. But really cool to see a rain team here. We do actually see quite a few Pelipper's too. 3 Pelipper's in the top cut was really, really cool. Yeah, so that is great to see. And then at 6th place here, funny enough, our first Tornadus. I think Tornadus was sitting at something like 37% usage. And we only have 2 of them in the top 8, and neither of them made the top 4, which is kind of crazy. This one was clearly the best speed control mon coming into the format. At least if you're not a Trick Room setter, like Cresselia was the premier Trick Room setter, which we do, see one there in 7th place. But yeah, just a really, Victor there had a very standard, just hyper offensive Tornadus team. We'll scroll down a little bit more here. Obviously, we see our second Cresselia, our second Cresselia in top 8. Again, is this the exact same team? Yeah, they've got the exact same team. That's really interesting, actually. No power once again on this D-Knight. I'm really curious as to why. I'll have to look into it and see if they've maybe put like team reports out, because it is crazy to see 2 D-Knights here without Qian power. But again, pretty standard team there. I think for the most part, these teams are all going to become pretty standard now. Maddie Morgan here, running the double genie. Is that like... Yeah, I guess that is the first double genie we've actually seen, yeah. Crazy to think there's only 1 double genie in the top 8. We do see another Rain Pelipper here. Interesting enough, the exact same team once again. It is really interesting actually to see how many of these people were running the exact same teams. Because obviously like these 2 are like identical. These 2 are identical. We got 3 Japanese players with identical teams. But only Michael here is like the only one in top cut, I guess, probably without... he's not the only one, I guess, with a unique team. But a lot of players here are just like, I guess, stacking up on what is considered really damn good. Of course, my guy Roaring Moon here, we do see him get his highest placement here at 11th place. Really cool to see Roaring Moon and Fish. I do believe Marco built with Wolf. I could be wrong. I feel like Wolf had a different Pokemon in the last slot here. But for the most part, that is like almost identical to what Wolf ran. I wonder if I can actually check. I probably can't scroll down far enough for Wolf, can I? Yeah, let's have a look at Wolf. Why is it not searching? Wolf. We find Wolf. Oh. Is Wolf really like... Damn. I guess, yeah. Sorry, Wolf. Oh, because Wolf didn't make day 2, of course. It's just day 2 teams. Yeah, rest in peace, Wolf. Wolf at Worlds this year. Oh, who was that? They had the exact same team. Oh, Sam Paldeus actually brought the same team. Wow, represented my my Australians. Interesting that Sam had the same team too there. But yeah, look, Marco getting Roaring Moon in the top 11 there. I love to see that. This is a team I may try. I'll have to look into this because Roaring Moon plus Chiyu, my 2 favorite Gen 9 Pokemon, so I would absolutely love to play them together. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look to see if they make this team public. A Sunroom team here at 12 though, which is really cool to see. Basically hard Trick Room with like Flutter Mane. If I had to guess, the Flutter Mane also probably has Trick Room on it. But then the guy Emilio Forbes. This is probably one of my favorite teams I've seen for the entire event. I love the HO here. Really cool. And then just seeing the Brambleghast, dude, triple ghost on Emilio Forbes' team is kind of nutty. Obviously, you've got the Flutterfish, you've got the Gold, you've got the Brambleghast, Tornurshi. Really, really cool hyper offensive team. That's another team too I would love to try out in the future. I don't know if it's public or not. If it is public, I'll probably use it. If not, I'll probably make my own variant of it. Because it's not too hard to build this, but Emilio did get he got really unlucky. I believe I saw on Twitter, he like had I'm pretty sure he was like in a guaranteed win upper game or something like that when the power went out, which forced a sudden death game where he ended up losing. So unfortunately, Emilio did not make top 8, but I believe he should have, which is really, really upsetting. I would have loved to see him go top 8 with Brambleghast because there was a lot of people who didn't believe in Brambleghast, and dude, he was piloting it fantastically. So that does suck to see. A couple more Japanese teams here though. Pretty standard one we saw earlier. Yuda here running the H9. The Hisuian Arcanine was a mon that we did see on stream quite a few times, and it put in a lot of work. I'm honestly surprised there wasn't any like much more Hisuian Arcanine, as every time I saw it, the mon looked really good. Kenji though did round out the top 16 with a Baxcalibur and a Zapdos. This was a really, really interesting team here, obviously, and looking at it. I believe Zapdos was his Tailwind setup, but it was kind of just a really like solid balanced team. Shout out to Neil here though, guys. If you don't know, Neil VGC got 17th place at the World Championships. He made the top 26. Neil's he's one of the best VGC content creators we have out there. He's a big inspiration for me, and I know a lot of other people out there. So seeing, all the hard work he's put in this year, getting, 17th place is really, really cool. And he did it with a good team too. This is just a really solid, offensive balanced team here. He's got the hands, he's got the Flood, he's got the Urshi, got the Lando. Really, really solid team. I'm so glad to see Neil do well here. Now, Nick Navarre, he pulled out the Klefki, which was kind of crazy. But as I saw, I think Moxie was talking about the Klefki, and it was like, it just has a better matchup, right, into a lot of like things that like say Grimmsnarl can't deal with, right? Like Grimmsnarl doesn't want to like verse a Flutter Mane, whereas like Klefki just doesn't care if it's up against a Flutter Mane. But yeah, look, he's got the Gastro, he's got the Chiyu, you know, just a pretty solid screens team here by Nick Navarre. I do think this was the best performing screens team, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it definitely was. I don't know if there's... Yeah, it's the only screen teams in top 8 by the looks of it, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, really, really cool team here. This one's like super interesting. He's got the Gastro, he's got the Flutterfish, he's got the backs, like another backs too. In, you know, top cut is really, really cool. Then Joe Ugarte, Joe UX9, you know, rival to the channel. He doesn't know it, probably doesn't even know my name, but he eliminated me from OCIC and I'll never forgive him for it. But yeah, really cool here. I believe he is the only Thunderous in the... Yeah, I think he's the only Thundy in top cut, which is actually crazy. I like thought coming into the format, Thunderous was like really good. And he was the only one with enough balls to bring it, which is kind of crazy. Also the only guy with the Wo-Chien, which was really, really cool. It was nice to see him on stream. You know, I think his day 2 game was fantastic. One of the best, you know, games we saw for the entire weekend. That's another game I might even potentially do a review on this week or something like that. Because it was definitely, you know, one of the best adaptations we'd seen. It was just really cool how we played it too. You know, using the Wo-Chien, game 1. I do think the only time he brought Wo-Chien he lost, but you know, it was still cool to see Joe pull it out. Really cool team here. He's got the Lando, the Fundy, you know, double Genie. And then really to round it out here, I guess there isn't really anything too crazy outside of like maybe Leonardo's team here. No Flutter Mane, you know, no Lando, but you know, it's a Rain team, right? You know, he's got Rain. It's just kind of like good stuff Rain, right? Only King Gambit here in the top cut. We do see here Scott here, you know, fellow Scott, shout out to him, bringing a Landorus, you know, which, I mean, I think Landor was pretty underrated in this format. If I'm telling the truth, I think this mon was actually really good. I guess it's just hard justifying it over Lando T, right? Which, you know, Lando T is like one of the, you know, top 5 mons in the format. Super splashable. It's very similar to like, you know, the top mons like the Hands, the Flutter, the Urshi. It's so good on so many teams. Zachary too actually did pull out the Talonflame here, which I did think was really, really cool. Again, I said coming into the format, I was a believer in Talonflame just because it's faster than Torn. You know, if you're playing like a HO team, you don't have to worry about, you know, this mon being outsped and taunted by, you know, the other genies. Not to mention, it also does resist Gholdengo and Flutter Mane, right? So resist Makeup Rain and Dazzling Gleam, which I do think is also really, really important because, I mean, a lot of times on lead, right, if your opponent just like attacks you as you set up the Tailwind, you can kind of just pick up 2 KOs if you can't really threaten a KO. So I do think because of that, Talonflame was really cool. I do believe this is also the only Screamtail on top cut. Call me crazy. Yeah, it looks like the only Screamtail on top cut. So I would be really curious to know what Screamtail's job on this team is. Because like there's no real Perish trap mode on this team. Maybe it's like a Howler for Urshi, but like it's single strike Urshi too actually. So I don't know, maybe it's there to howl for Urshi and then like maybe it's just even encore support. I don't know. And then finally to round it out, Kenji here. I do believe we saw Kenji on team with this, on stream with his team. He was the other screens team as well. I did kind of forget to mention that. I remember he was Carmine, Cresselia. He was Rest, Curse, Fisher, Dozo. There was a really hype moment where he actually like fished the, I believe it was the, what did he do? I think he fished the Urshifu off memory. But yeah, he had a really cool set on stream. Very unfortunate, you know, to fall out when he did. But yeah, he played a really, really interesting team. It was cool to see it. Curse Dozo with Wave Crash was really interesting. I do believe he was also Worry Seed Rillaboom, which was pretty cool because that was like his answer to Amoonguss. Like Amoonguss would spore something, Rilla would just then like Worry Seed it and wake it up. So yeah, pretty cool team, guys. But that is the top cut there. I wish we had more information to go off here because I would have liked to have, you know, checked out some of their sets and gone a bit more in depth for you guys. But look, a lot of these teams were like relatively standard. Like I think the biggest adaptations we did see were Terra Grass Flutter Mane with Energy Ball was really big. Obviously, you know, that did allow you to just like one-shot Urshifus always if they weren't, you know, anything other than Terra Water, which was pretty cool. It also gives you a Spore immunity as well, and a Rage Powder immunity, which is really, really nice. Crazy thing too, no Iron Bundle, no Reggie Alecki in the top cut. I thought someone would be crazy enough to bring him. Like, do we see any Alecki or like, I mean, dude, we see a Moltres here. Do we see any Alecki or Bundle? Dude, like, I'm telling you guys right now, I don't know why people didn't explore Iron Bundle more, even if like it was just like an offensive variant. Dude, is there like no bundle? Reggie Drago here, by the way. A lot of people thought Drago was going to do really good. It kind of didn't make top cut, which is kind of interesting. Paul Ruiz had a cool team here with the Roaring Moon and the Volcarona. Dude, is there... Oh, there it is. Bang. I don't know if I missed one earlier, but there's Iron Bundle at 71. I quickly want to touch on Iron Bundle, actually. Also, Baskia Legion, another mon I just realized we don't really see here, which is kind of crazy, because day one on stream, Baskia Legion was, like, dominating, but, like, we really didn't see any, no day two, sorry, top cut Baskia Legions. But, like, going back to Iron Bundle, yeah, you look at this team here, like, Iron Bundle beats this, beats this, beats this. Really good into this with speed control. He beats this, he beats this, he beats this. Again, like, decent to, like, break sashes on this thing. It can also eat, the physical attacks coming out of Chi and Power pretty easy. Also, Hydro Pump, you know, kind of forces Heater into Terra, and if it Terra's Freeze Dry, can do a lot of work. Beats this, beats this, beat this. It can beat this, it can beat this, it can beat this. Like, Iron Bundle, like, it felt so good into this metagame. I'm surprised no one else really picked it up. But I do think, probably just because the format was so new, I do think maybe heading into Regulation E, Bundle could pick up definitely, especially with, like, you know, the DLC mons coming back and whatnot. And I'm really curious to see if it does get Scald in the DLC. I think if it gets Scald in the DLC, it becomes like one of the premier water types in the meta. But yeah, guys, that's probably it for today. You know, as I said, I kind of wish there was more information to go off here. I wish I could kind of break it down a bit more for you guys, but unfortunately, I can't right now. But yeah, if there's anything else you guys want to know, or you know, any other Worlds-related content you want to see this week, let me know. I do have a couple ideas, but obviously, you know, I'm always open to new ideas and whatnot. So if you got some, let me know down below. If you could, obviously, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, guys, I'll catch you to the next one. Peace.